I got my bangs cut today, and my hairstylist was like, your hair is so dirty. And I was like, thank you. I haven't had time to shower. I haven't had time to do anything. It's so crazy. Like, when does owning a small business get less stressful? I thought things would chill out. I'm gonna put a hat on. I thought things would chill out after Renegade. I thought things would be more calm. Welcome. I am Molly Ann Bishop. I'm a ceramicist, illustrator, artist, designer. I don't know what I am. I'm an artist. I run a small business. I'm a CEO. I'm a CFO, as we'll learn later in the video. And I am here to give you my part 2 of 2 craft fair video roundup. This video centers around Renegade Craft Fair, which is a big craft fair here in Chicago that happens a few times a year. And the biggest one, the most intense one, is in September. So you're gonna see footage of me setting up for the fair, footage of me selling, and then some come down, breakdown footage. And not shown in the video is the 2-hour nap I accidentally took on Monday when I was supposed to be inventorying all of these t-shirts. I sat down for a second after counting a few t-shirts and fell asleep in the weirdest position. I'll show you actually. I fell asleep on this chair with my feet on this chair, or my legs on this chair with my feet coming out from here. And I didn't even know I was asleep. Well, I guess, do you ever know you're asleep? Do you ever know you're asleep? But Joe walked in and he didn't see me, and then he saw me, and then he got scared. And then I sort of like blinked awake and was like, oh, hi. And then I looked at my watch and realized 2 hours had passed. And that's how tired I was after Renegade. Enjoy this footage, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I did my best in this video to answer your questions. Thank you guys so much for asking me questions in the comments. It makes me really happy. And if you have more, drop them in the comments. If you don't have questions, write me a comment anyway. It's really cool to write comments. It's like one of those things that's like all these cool people are doing it. Like in LA, I heard that that's what they're doing. And in Singapore and Berlin. That's how they show that they're cool, is they like support their content creators. So anyway, roll the footage. I don't know which way I point. I guess, do you watch the video? I don't know. Roll it. Hi, here is footage that I was smart enough to film while we were setting up for Renegade. So as you can see, we get a little 10-foot by 10-foot space, and Renegade has you supply your own tent. They want you to bring a white tent. I've seen that they have been more lax about that lately, but I have this 10-foot by 10-foot white tent. It was so windy setting up, as you can see. And Eric usually puts the walls up, and then we weigh the tent down with sandbags because otherwise the tent will blow away. This morning was particularly windy, and it was kind of like using or like getting the sails of the Mayflower to cooperate, but it ended up working. And the tent walls velcroed to the poles. The tent itself breaks down into a pretty small little package, and I usually put it on top of the car, but this time, because I was able to load some stuff into Eric's car, I got it inside the car, which was cool. Everything has to break down really small, and I like to use these tubs that I got from Home Depot, and I keep everything organized when I pack. Like, all my inventory is organized by size. And then I keep things in backstock. This Renegade, I was lucky enough to find a parking spot that was close by that I could keep all my backstock in the car. So that was great. But usually I have to organize my backstock, put it in tubs and put it underneath my table, underneath the tablecloth, so it's disguised. So somebody asked, Jan Lee 88 said, how do you typically decide on how much merch versus pottery to bring? Seems like a delicate balance. So this is a great question. I don't bring much pottery to craft fairs anymore because it just doesn't sell. I used to bring a lot of pottery. Here's my first Renegade. This is me selling at my first Renegade. And if you look closely, you can see that it's all pottery and a few pins and some prints. But my mugs were priced at 65 bucks. And these days I price my mugs at 150, which is actually still too cheap for how much work they are. That's something I can get into in another video if you're interested in that. But it's kind of crazy to see that I let this work go for as cheap as it did. Oh my gosh, if you see this video, the shelf fell over. That's how windy it was. I think this was before we weighed it down. We were all okay. And shout out to my friend Alexis for helping. She is honestly an angel. She did so much, and it was her first time helping me, but it's not that complicated, but she was like really great and was like able to help without me telling her like exactly what to do, which is like the best kind of helper for something like this. And she was great at merchandising. So anyway, back to the Jan Lee 88's question. I don't bring much pottery. In fact, like I don't really bring any pottery or any ceramics, but I do a limited edition for Renegade every year. That's why I made these bird trinket dishes, and it's fun because I feel like I get to make something unique and special, and it feels a little bit more like a collector's item. And when I work in a series like this, I'm able to price them lower. So I like to set up pretty early. I think we got there at 7:30, and Renegade staggers the load-in times to deal with traffic. But I like to set up early, and then I like to browse the fair once I'm done setting up because I don't usually get a chance to shop. So once I'm done setting up, I usually have like an hour to like go grab a coffee, run to the bathroom, and browse the fair and maybe go shopping. So that is basically the gist of setup. Yeah, if you guys have any particular setup questions, please let me know. But this one went really smooth, aside from the shelf almost collapsing, but we were able to survive. Okay, Eric, it's day one of Renegade Craft Fair. How are you feeling?
Best day of my life.
This is my bandana quilt. I like the sign, really cute. Products with drawings. We've got the shelves looking good. The new print looks so cute. Do you want a hug? You want to come hug? We did it.
What?
Set up for the craft fair.
Oh, yeah. We did, didn't we?
Okay, see you soon. Okay, here's some footage I took of the actual fair. I tucked my camera on my shelf and filmed myself folding zines and talking to customers and selling stuff. And I wanted to answer a couple of questions about this. So someone asked what my weirdest customer interaction is. I actually have really good customers, so I don't really have this problem of like super weird customers. But I will say that I do attract like a specific type of creepier older guy. I don't know why. If you can relate to this, I'm curious. But yeah, I never get like young hot guys. I always get creepier old guys. But that's just my cross to bear. I don't know. But I'm nice to everybody, and no one's ever like made me explicitly uncomfortable. Not that I can remember, and I feel like I would remember that. Other things that have happened that are weird are like sometimes like I'll have people be like, "Oh, I'm a student. Can I just take this for free?" And I just say no. Someone else asked, "Have you done fairs before and lost money or felt like it was not worth it?" Yeah, this is a tough one to talk about, but yes. So usually if it's a craft fair in a new city or my first fair in a new city or my first time doing a fair, the show will be a little bit mid. But that's okay. Like I think of it as an introduction. So the first time I did West Coast Craft in San Francisco, it wasn't the most profitable, but it was such a fun market and I kept coming back. So it makes it worth it for me because, oh wait, we gotta pause for Joe.
You're amazing. Do you want to be in my vlog?
In your what? Hey.
How are you feeling today too?
I'm feeling calm, cool, and collected, CCC. I learned that from this Killer Psyche podcast I listen to. They always talk about how like certain killers, like who, they call them CCC because they're like so calm, cool, and collected when they kill people.
They kill people?
Well, in the Killer Psyche podcast, they talk about murder. CCC.
Oh, so they have to say calm, cool, and collected in order to kill people.
Well, they're saying how like certain psychopaths exude CCC.
Oh,
calm, cool, and collected.
Okay, are you gonna kill anybody?
Okay, back to business. So if the first time you do a fair, it's not so great, I recommend if you've had a good time or you like the city or you liked the vibe of the fest, give it a second chance because once you do it a second time, you sort of gain that recognition from people and it adds to your like clout or the customer's trust. And I always think that like the second time will be better. Like in terms of that, I did Porter Flea in Nashville in June and it wasn't the greatest like financially, but I think I want to do it again over the holiday because I met a bunch of new customers. It's a new region for me, and I think that the second time could be better. I've left 2 fairs early. One was a holiday show that was just a bad fit, and I was super burnt out. It was a weird location. It went super late, and I broke down that night and didn't come back for the second day. I really hated to do it because the organizer was amazing and kind and did such a good job, but I was like at max capacity and stretched too thin. And then one time I broke down early at a Renegade because it rained so hard on Sunday that I just didn't feel safe in a tent. It was storming and it just like wasn't a good vibe. So that's kind of my advice about a fair being a bust. I also wanted to talk a little bit about like chatting with customers and making small talk. In a way, like people visiting your booth is like them visiting your home, and I think it's like you want to make them feel welcome. So I think that it's important to small talk. You can see me silently doing it here. Obviously, beer doesn't hurt, but just, you know, make them feel comfortable and ask them like, what are they up to this weekend? If you recognize like a band or a national park on their t-shirt or something that they're wearing that you like, give them a compliment if you mean it. I think that that's important. And then I also like to say like, who else have you shopped this fair? Like, what else have you bought? That is a good way to break the ice. Literally nobody asked me about how to talk to customers, but I thought I would include that in case you need the help. I don't know. Oh, this is my friends visiting me.
Nikki, perform. It's okay. All right. Hi, best customers ever. Woo.
Okay, I shot some footage of breaking down, but it's ultimately pretty boring, and I don't think I'm going to show you much of it. But basically, breakdown is always easier than setup, and Eric always helps me. He's an angel, and I totally recommend getting a wagon. This year, he was able to take tubs of merch back to his car with the wagon, and I was able to do most of the breakdown while he was running back and forth to the car. So I highly recommend getting a wagon. It saved my butt last year when I bought it, and I've used it ever since. If you have any questions about breakdown, let me know. Holler in the comments. Actually, this is a good time to answer a question I forgot. Josie V asks, I always feel bad spending a lot of time in someone's booth, then deciding not to purchase. Aside from following them, what's the best way to support? Josie, this is a great question, and I think you might have visited my booth on Saturday. If not, I'm sorry. And if so, I'm also sorry for not saying hi. I have a really hard time recognizing faces, and then I get nervous if I think I know someone because I worry I'm wrong. Anyway, I totally get this feeling. I have had it before. You don't have to do anything. You seriously don't have to do anything. If you want, you can say you like their work. If they have an Instagram and you feel like following, that's really helpful. And if you want to sign up for their newsletter, that's also really helpful. But please don't feel obligated to buy anything. I would feel terrible if somebody bought something from me because they felt obligated. This is such a sweet, genuine, kind question, and I don't think you should ever have to worry about that. If someone makes you feel like a jerk for being in their booth and not buying something, that seller is a jerk. They are set up and they are showing their stuff. There is no obligation. You shouldn't feel obligated. I get it though. I just went to Cake and I had the same feeling, but it's fine. If you're a maker and a seller, please don't forget that just like having people come by is like such a great way to connect with people. It's the whole point of this fair or any fair is having people look at your stuff. So anyway, yeah, I just like this question. I wanted to get to it. Hi, welcome to my office. I'm Molly Ann Bishop, the Operations and Sales Director of Molly Ann Bishop Incorporated, and we're here to talk about business. So come on in, step on into my office, ignore my cricket. Sorry, that's actually my coworker's cricket, the head of creative, Molly Ann Bishop, the head of creative. We're completely different people. Okay, I wish I had like a clicky pen so I could click it while I talk to you guys. Okay, so the kinds of analytics I usually do after a fair, make a spreadsheet of your top selling products or products ranked by like sell-through rate or by revenue. Get that data into a spreadsheet. I find looking at this data exported into a spreadsheet is a lot easier than looking at Shopify's reports. Because that's messy, I also like to pull it into Notion for the top 20 products. And I try to make it cute in Notion and I color code it and I make it nicer to look at because this is something I want to be looking at more. When I look at a raw Excel spreadsheet, like it stresses me out. So having it aesthetic and nice in Notion helps me enjoy looking at it and thinking about it. I think that a problem for some artists, and myself included, is I will take notes and I will do this kind of work and then I won't look at it. Like for instance, I do like a goal setting activity at the beginning of every New Year's. And sometimes I don't look at it until the following year. Holistically, you should be thinking about these things all the time. And I'm literally not even talking to you right now. I'm talking to myself, okay? So let's get down to business. Elizabeth Bennett Studio asked what the best-selling items were for me. So here are the top, I think these are top 15 items that I sold in order of revenue at the same fair in 2023 and 2024. I'm just gonna look at it. I haven't even like analyzed it yet, but just like looking at it briefly, I think it's really exciting, first of all, that the 5 salads tea is the top seller. The trinket dish is the top seller, but I want to talk more about like my mass-produced products first. Out of like the screen printed merchy things I brought, the 5 salads tea was the best seller, and that makes me happy because I love that tea. It's brand new. I've been promoting it on Instagram through ads and just like showing it to people. And it's just like the best print I've ever made, the most creative print I've ever made in terms of the screen printing. I can get into that at some point. If you want to hear about that and like what I think about when I think about screen printing or like sourcing, let me know in the comments. That could be a really fun video. But the 5 Solids tee was the top merch seller, and that's amazing. Super happy about that. The green heron print being next is amazing because that is a brand new print that debuted at Renegade. It's not even on my web shop yet. I love that print. I'm super proud of that print. So it's just like such a good feeling when like products that you really love and really care about are doing well, because sometimes Elizabeth Bennett Studio also asked about like flop products. That sucks when like a product you're really excited is a flop product, and it happens. Going through, these are just kind of making sense to me. They're not that dissimilar from 2023's sell-through rates. This is telling me that the products that I really like and I'm really proud of, like my faves, do well at a place like Renegade, which makes sense because like Renegade's audience has similar taste to me, and it's just like validating. One of the floppiest craft fairs I've ever had was actually like logistically, literally, and emotionally was in June 2019. So I did a West Coast craft in San Francisco, and this was at a point where like I said before, like I really only brought handmade ceramics, and shipping them / packing them, because at that point I was doing both to get them out there, was really hard. I just really barely sold anything. I had a really bad fair, and it's really expensive to go to San Francisco. I had to get a hotel room. I didn't know that I shouldn't stay in the Tenderloin, which I think is the funniest name for a neighborhood. And it's also like not the safest place. And then my car got broken into, and it was just horrible. I had some like weird social media thing happen to me where this guy wrote me a nasty message, and it just like really affected me. And then also like I had just broken up with my boyfriend on Memorial Day. And so like I was just like, it was horrible. It was the worst fair ever. I remember, this is so funny. I went over to my friend Megan Lorenz, who's an amazing, talented jeweler here in Chicago. Like, I just started sobbing, and she just like hugged me, and then she just kind of kept her eye on me the whole fair. There wasn't like anything she could do, you know what I mean? There's like nothing that was fixable about the situation. It was just like I had a black cloud hanging over my head, which probably affected my sales too. Like I wasn't making small talk, you know, like whatever. So that was bad. So that was a flop, West Coast Craft 2019, but I love that fair, and I will do it as long as they accept me. So it wasn't the fair's fault, it was me, it was a personal thing. Elizabeth Bennett also asked, why do fairs at all if you have successful online sales? I really like this question too. Fairs are such a good way to meet new customers that like you just wouldn't meet through SEO. On Instagram, you can meet people outside of your or audience base just by the algorithm sometimes showing people things if you pay for ads, like different ways. But getting a new Instagram follower isn't like getting a new customer. It's a different experience. And like people go to craft fairs to shop. So chances are you're gonna sell things to people who never have heard of you and have never seen your stuff before. And like that is so good. I love getting new customers. I love meeting new people. That's like a really underrated and exciting way to grow. And people like to meet the person who makes things. I know I do. Like when I have a connection with someone, like if I buy something and I really like their work, like this just happened to me. Let me, wait, I bought this book. Okay, I'm embarrassed. I can't remember what it's called. Sentience. Okay, I bought this book, Sentience. The person who sold it to me is the woman who made it. Her name's Carolina Hicks, and I saw her work. And the way she displayed it at Cake was so wild and so fun, and she had it like all taped up on this cement pillar, and then like her drawings are incredible. They're so sweet and goofy and earnest and like loopy in the best way. Look, I mean, they're so cool. And then I said to her, you know, I love this book. I love your work. And she was so nice. And I was wearing my Five Salads tee and she was like, I love your shirt. But we were just vibing like on the same level. And then like, I bought this book and like now every time I look at it, I think about her and like, especially like, I just feel like I own a piece of her. Not in a weird way. Like I get the souvenir of like this like cool person I met, and the actual piece and object is so beautiful too. So that's why I do craft fairs. Also, sales have been really bad for me this year online, way slower. And I don't know why. Some people say it's because it's an election year. I've heard so many different theories. So I need to do fairs. Renegade has like built-in foot traffic. Jill Kidduck, who I love, she's a good friend of mine, and she did Renegade too. She asked, I would love to hear what you do to come down after the stress of a fair, both when the fair is totally done and also on the in-between evenings, like the Saturday night between Saturday and Sunday. I don't know how to relax, but I will say that like my schedule is sort of timed around these big deadlines. So I usually plan a trip like around this time of year because this is a big deadline for me. So this year, Eric and I are going to England. We leave on Thursday, which is really exciting. Yeah, we've sort of planned a trip for almost after every Renegade. One year we went to Virginia and I took him to Richmond for the first time, which was really fun. And then the next year we went to Red River Gorge, I think. And last year we went to Italy, which was so fun. And then this year we're going to England. So it seems like I do like a big vacation. Share the stats on what was more successful for signups. So in my last video, I said that I was going to try to do newsletter signups through paper signups. Like in the past, I've done them as QR codes, and it hasn't been great. So this year, I did a page where people could fill it out, and I got way more signups, you guys. Seriously, like this is crazy. I think I probably got 42 signups versus like 0 when I did it last year through a QR code. So that's great information, and I kind of get it. People will scan the QR code for Instagram. That's easy. It immediately takes them to the page. All they have to do is click follow. But like with the newsletter, it's like, okay, like what's your name? What's your email? I get it. Like I wouldn't do it either. So I think that it's a little bit more work this way because you have to manually enter everybody, but it gets people on the list. Okay, and then finally, I like to, at the end of a market, count up the amount of money I did through different sales platforms. And then I like to sort of compare it to how I did the year before. It's not even, and that's been my story for a long time. It just shows that you really can't predict how a craft fair is gonna go. This year, I did 42% more than I did last year, which is crazy. The year before that, one of the days got rained out. So I lost out on a whole day of sales. It's variable. I didn't know what to expect, but it was a really good fair and I'm really happy. But just keep in mind that like there's waves to these things. And when I did my first and second and third craft fair, it was consistently up and then it wasn't. But that's totally normal and life goes on and you will be okay. And you will figure out a way to make it work. Okay, that's Molly Ann Bishop, business extraordinaire, COO, chief numbers person at the company, and chief of operations. I don't know. What is the name of the person who does this job for people? Like who runs the numbers at a, what is this called? A corporation. Is it called running the numbers? The board of directors and officers are responsible for managing a corporation's business. Wait, the board of directors does that? The board of directors runs the company. Who runs the financials? Is that what they call it? The CFO. Duh, the CFO. Okay, so anyway, thanks for coming to visit me, the CFO, Molly Ann Bishop of Molly Ann Bishop Incorporated. It was fun to chat. If you have any numbers questions, I'm your guy. I know it all. Okay. Okay. I'm back. It's only been 1 second since I filmed my intro, but for you guys, it's been however long the video is. I don't know yet because I haven't finished editing it. But I hope you liked it. Do you remember when you were in school and you didn't know how to finish a report and you would write, I hope you loved reading this as much as I loved writing it. So I hope you loved watching this video as much as I loved making it. Actually, I do really like editing videos. There's something like, it scratches this itch in my brain that is very satisfying. Oh, somebody wrote me and said that my videos are getting better, which is amazing. That feels really good to hear. Thank you. If you have suggestions, drop them in the comments. And if you have other craft fair questions, I'm happy to make more craft fair videos. I have another craft fair coming up the first weekend of October, so I could make vlogs about that. But other than that, I am gonna go pack for my trip to London. Does that seem real? Because I'm actually not about to go pack for my trip to London. I don't have time to pack right now. I'm gonna pack at some point tomorrow. I'm actually just gonna finish editing this video and pack orders and work a lot more. But I thought it'd be funny to be like, oh, I'm gonna go pack, bye. No, I don't have time. I'm so tired. Does this get easier? If you're a small business owner, can you write in the comments that everything gets easier, please? Yeah, things will really calm down in Q4 during holiday. Yeah, I know I have a zit on the tip of my nose. Literally everybody knows. Thanks. Thanks for noticing. I'll be in London this upcoming weekend. Then we're going to Cornwall. And apparently, according to my friend Jessie, there are lots of vistas in Cornwall. So I'm going to try to relax while I'm there. And if you guys have tips on how to relax, will you let me know? Because since the last time we talked, I am 36. I used to be 35, now I'm 36. And 36, I really want to be my year of relaxing. I want to learn how to relax. When I get back, I have Applefest. So Applefest. I'm excited for Applefest. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of the support always. Holler if you have London tips or Cornwall tips, because I don't have time to watch Poldark, okay? I thought it was like a murder mystery, but apparently it's like a sexy show. Should I watch Poldark? Okay. Yeah, let me know in the comments. Should I watch Poldark? Do you have a zit? What do you do to relax? Okay, I'm gonna go pack. That's a little joke from before. Okay, bye.